Welcome back to your channel. It's the man with the plan, with a can. I don't have a can, but what one might plan. I already said plan, dang. Guys, I have the Dinosaur Encyclopedia yet again. I'm gonna read some of this. I'll figure out what the video is actually gonna be. Glossary, save us one more time. Oh, wait, you start with P. How could I forget? Guys, do you guys want to hear about the jawless fish? How about the jawed fish? 36, 30 episode. Oh my god, this is episode 2. Episode 36. Oh yeah, page 36. Let's see what we're gonna find here. This is supposedly the, just read it, the jawed fish. My goodness. Oh, wow, jawed fish. I think I've already seen this page before. I have. Yes, guys, remember when you're taking time to read, sometimes it's good to get like music in the background, because I know reading's kind of boring sometimes. It can really, because you gotta get into it. And when it comes to encyclopedias, you can't really get into it. You gotta like have music in the background. But I'm making a video, so I have no music. It's just raw mazer. So this is gonna suck. So let's just go on the eggs page, and then we're gonna do the frogs. Oh, no, we'll do first reptiles. Page 50. That sounds more interesting. We can just make our way through that. Oh, boy. Here we go. First, reptiles. Reptiles evolved from amphibians during the Carboniferous period. 359 to 299 million years ago. Okay. I wonder if they actually have like a scale so I can say like all the periods, because I'm not going to remember the Carboniferous period. Because, guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but Carboniferous animals are not, exclusive to the Carboniferous period. Alright, let's see what they got here. Compared to amphibians, reptiles have better limbs for walking, are more effective. Oh, they have a more effective circulatory system for moving blood around their bodies, which means bigger brains. They also have more powerful jaw muscles. That's how you get your T-Rexes, guys. Early reptiles are millipedes, spiders, and insects. Early reptiles are millipedes, spiders, and insects. That is interesting to know. Ladies and gentlemen, if you made it, what is this now? 2 minutes 30 seconds into the video, you now know that those little spiders you see around there are actually examples of early reptiles. That's cool to think about. One of the earliest reptiles was the Hylonomus. Sure, let's go with that. Which lived in the late Carnivorous period, 315 to 310 million years ago. Hylonomus lived in forests, at edges of lakes, rivers. Yeah, that makes sense. Just escaped the amphibious lifestyle, still by the rivers though, because, biology. Another early reptile was the Paleothyrus. Like the Hylonomus, it was about 8 inches long and had a smaller head than amphibians. Well, okay, so here's the problem. They kind of just said that amphibians, had smaller heads. Here, what does it say? Reptiles had better rooms for walking, more effective circulatory system. They had just muscles. Earlier reptiles, millipedes. Okay, they don't say it here. Never mind. I thought I read that. Guess I was wrong. They have better jaws. That's what it was. One animal that represents the staging post between amphibians and reptiles is the Westlandia lizia, which was discovered in Scotland in the 1980s. Really? 80s? I guess that makes sense. I mean, you don't know what you're looking at for a while. At first, paleontologists thought that the Westlandia lizia was the oldest reptile. However, its backbone, head, and legs are closer to those of an amphibian. Guys, this is pretty cool stuff. If you guys don't know, evolution kind of only works. Well, it only makes sense because there's animals that are like between, like families or whatever, and they just look disgustingly gross because they're like in between, like, evolution periods. Like, you're in between that of an amphibian and a reptile. You're not quite amphibious, blah blah blah. You're a little primate, but you're also a little, I don't know, maybe a little something else. So that kind of things are just cool, I guess. But here comes the egg page, so get back to boringness. Reptile eggs are a major evolutionary advance over amphibian eggs. Go tell us why. Early amphibians, like the modern ones, laid their eggs in water. This is because their eggs were covered in jelly, like modern frogs. They would dry out on land. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Reptiles evolved eggs that were covered by a protective shell. This meant they could lay them on land and they would not dry out. A female snake protecting her eggs. Oh, this is a picture. I just read the description of a picture. You guys can't even see it. So yeah, it's funny to think about that. I mean, it's weird. The evolution also happened in the eggs. Because think about it. Like, what you're seeing when you see a frog egg is just the inside of, like, a reptile egg. That's cool to think about, I guess. Okay, one advantage of shelled eggs was that reptiles did not have to return to water to lay them. Yeah, that's pretty good. Another advantage was that reptiles could hide their eggs on land. Eggs laid in water were easy pickings for hungry animals. I guess. Sure. Depends on the waters. Reptile embryos complete all their growth phases inside eggs. When they hatch, they look like miniature adults. Okay, yeah, it's a pretty big one. I think with, like, frogs, because it's, like, the best example I have. Tadpoles, blah, 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 blah. But they're still easy pickings even after they're born. Versus a reptile egg, I don't think it happens that often in nature where a reptile egg actually gets, like, cooked after it's being born. Usually when it's born, it's done. It's reached its point where you can't really kill it. But that's ignoring, cannibalism and, the odd circumstances. But usually they're better off than amphibians. Those guys have, like, a lot of eggs because they can't live for long. So anyway, skirls. There's a weird word to say, skulls. The jaw of reptiles are another feature that shows the evolutionary progression from amphibians. Amphibian jaws are designed to snap, but not to bite together tightly. Yeah, so that makes sense. We're going back to frogs because I don't really care about any other amphibian right now. They don't really, bite toughly. They gotta snap though. In contrast, reptilians had more jaw muscles and they could press their jaws together more firmly. That meant they could break insect bodies, casings, and chew through tough plant stems. Forgot these guys were not just carnivores. By the late Carnivorous period, oh my god, this is an important period apparently. This is like the in-between stage between amphibians and reptiles. Reptiles developed openings in their skulls behind the eye socket. These openings allowed for more jaw muscles. Insane work. Is there something cool about evolving to just have more muscle? Like dog. Was it not enough? Obviously not. Anapsids had no openings in their skulls other than the eye sockets. Turtles and tortoises are anapsids. Okay, so, like, not everyone got the cool muscles. It's like turtles and tortoises, they don't have the ability to, like, open up their mouths that big. Which is not that important for turtles and tortoises, though, because they didn't really need it. Which is exactly why they didn't evolve it. Guys, if you guys don't know, these evolutions are, at the end of the day, just a whole lot of adaptions that just stacked upon each other. And these adaptions only, make it to the next generation if they're like, what's the right word for it? They're the best. They're, necessary. They're the most, there's a word for it. I'll figure it out later. But, they're just the best option. And they just naturally live longer because they're preferred for survival. Darwin, whatever he said. And then, Europsids had one opening high up on either side of the skull. Sea reptiles such as Ichthyosaurus were Europsids, but this group has no surviving members. Oh. So this is a whole different type of reptile we just never get to see because they got clapped. They're gone. It's cool. So these guys had, like, an opening in the side of the skull or the top. No, opening high up on either side of the skull. Yeah. Either side. So, like, on one side, not both. Presumably not both, right? Okay, that's cool. Synapsids had one opening low down on either side of the skull. Mammals are descended from this group. Really? Opening on either side of the skull. low down opening. So I guess we changed a lot from there. Yeah, my goodness. I'm one human. This is not even like the best way to describe it. But yeah, mammals are from synapsids, so it makes sense. Diapsids had 2 openings. Di means 2, by the way. On either side of skull, dinosaurs and pterosaurs were diapsids. Guys, dinosaurs and pterosaurs. As in, dinosaurs separate from pterosaurs. Pterosaurs are not dinosaurs, guys. So, just so you guys know. Oh, did you know? Plants develop tough stems and leaves, spines, and poisons to protect themselves from hungry reptiles. That's right, guys. When you're getting tired of that poison ivy, you can thank your local lizard for that. You can thank your local snake for that. These darn lizards, they ruined it for us. And what sucks is they ruined it for themselves because, guys, these stupid reptiles, you can thank the lizard from the Spider-Man movie. They literally just, like, were eating just straight plants, and they just couldn't do it anymore because the plants evolved to just, like, say, hey, no. And then they just got so good at the job that these guys had to start eating, like, actual meat and stuff. Like, these guys are just, like, basically mostly carnivores now. Like, the average reptile is a carnivore. You have the exceptions being, like, the turtles. And the turtles, they don't even be eating like the other reptiles be doing. They just be, like, chomping down. Like, they don't even have, like, taste buds. Like, they're just, like, immune to the stuff. And they still can only eat special things, like, because they can't afford it. There's too many plants. They just know how to do it. Oh, my God. Guys, poison ivy sucks. Thank your snakes for that. Okay, this goes into detail about synapsids. Makes sense. That is kind of where mammals come from. Probably leads us into the mammal section. Nope, then we get into the ancient life. Guys, this has now been 10 minutes of straight major ancient life. But even ancienter than humans. Maybe I should get like an ancient humans book so I can talk about those guys, because they're kind of cool too. Is this a history channel now? Is this what my channel is? It doesn't matter what it is. Ooh, here comes something cool. I like this one. Pack hunters. Dinosaurs were reptiles, but no reptiles today hunt in packs, which members cooperate with each other. Certain types of crocodiles and alligators come together to feed where prey is abundant, but they do not coordinate their attacks. Yes, that's right, guys. That's right. Now, I think it is an important distinction to make right now that dinosaurs were reptiles, but not all reptiles were dinosaurs. Did you guys know that? I knew that. Just get you guys here now. Okay, so here's some cool stuff that's actually really cool. So sometimes the fossils of several individuals that had the same type of dinosaur had been found in one place, suggesting they were in packs. The fossil bones of some plant-eating dinosaurs have been found with many tooth marks on them, apparently made by differently sized predators, which may have hunted in packs. And the Tyrannosaurus may have been a pack hunter. Guys, since this book came out, which it came out in 2018, there's actually more evidence that T-Rexes hunted in packs. So these giant lizards, the king of all the dinosaurs that could literally bite your bones to dust, these guys weren't going by yourselves. When you go to Jurassic Park, you're not going to see all Rexy by himself. No, you're seeing Rexies. You're seeing the gang. You're not getting attacked by a T-Rex. You're getting attacked by T-Rexes. What would be the group? Well, oh my gosh, I wish they were still around. No, I don't, but like, if they were still around, what would you name a pack of Tyrannosaurus Rexes? Would you call it like a legion? I would call it like Olympus, because like it's literally like the strongest animal, the land animal of all time. All like as a group, that's Olympus, guys. It's a cool name. I'm cloning that in case it becomes a real thing, or in case people care about it enough. Okay, here comes southwest Montana. Montana is one of those states that have like a lot of dinosaurs in them. It remains of 3 or 4 Deinonychus were found near the fossils of a much larger plant named Tentosaurus. Oh, plant eater, by the way. Not plant, but plant eater. Deinonychus is like essentially the velociraptor, what they are from like the Jurassic Park movies. So like, just picture a velociraptor and just say, nope, that's actually a Deinonychus. And there you go. That's a Deinonychus. One Deinonychus probably would not have attacked a fully grown Tentosaurus. but a group of 3 or 4 might have. That makes sense, you know, group numbers. They're good. They're smart enough to be a group. Well, it's not about smarts. I think they just like evolutionary, just like yeah, let's do this. Yeah, small predatory dinosaurs such as Troodon may have gathered in groups to chase prey or scavenge. Nice. Oh, that's a cool page. Entire page dedicated to raptors. Now I can really get into details. Okay. Raptors is a nickname for the dromaeosaur group. It is variously said to mean plunderer, thief, or hunter. Birds of prey are also raptors, by the way, which makes sense. This should make sense because, like, think about like a hawk or like an eagle. Like, these guys are thieves. They're hunters. They kind of just zoom in, get what they want, and leave. They're pretty powerful, pretty fast. Dromaeosaurs were medium-sized, powerful, agile, meat-eating dinosaurs that lived mainly about 110 to 66 million years ago. That means these guys existed, and they kept existing until the dinosaurs came to an end. They ended when they ended. Most dromaeosaurs were 5 to 10 feet from tail to nose to tail, weighed around 45 to 130 pounds, which means they were very carryable. You could lift up a dromaeosaur, most likely. You could pick up a velociraptor. Well, they're really short in comparison to other raptors. But Velociraptor lived 75 to 70 million years ago in what is now the barren scrub and desert of Mongolia and Central America. Jesus, Central Asia, guys. So America does not have the Velociraptor, which is sad to hear. But that's until you realize that Deinonychus is just a velociraptor. And honestly, I might even put it in my top dinosaurs now. Because it's low-key, I won't say it's a cooler name than Velociraptor, but I think it's still a good name. Deinonychus, you literally say dino when you say the name. Like, it's a solid name. Top 5 dinosaur name video might be coming out pretty soon, guys. But anyways, like other raptors, Velociraptor probably ran fast. Velocity's in your name, bro. If you didn't run fast, I'd be pretty upset. It could leap great distances, and it was pretty strong with its back legs. Makes sense. Dromaeosaurus, that being the family name. Is the family? No. That is the, where is it? Group name. Okay. Dromaeosaurs are named after the 6-foot-long Dromaeosaurus from North America. That's what I hear. One of the least known of the group from very few fossil finds. Interesting to hear. Very few fossils in North America, but it was first found in North America, I assume? Or only found in North America. Well, probably only, because, very few fossils. The most studied raptor is probably the Deinonychus. Makes sense. That is the Velociraptor from the movies. The large mouths of the dromaeosaurs opened wide and were equipped with many small, sharp, curved teeth. That makes sense. Velociraptors, the speedy thief, was a typical dromaeosaur. Fossils of it were found in Central Asia. Yeah. Did you know on each foot a dromaeosaur had a large curved claw that it would swing in an arc to slash through its victim's flesh? We know this, guys. If you made it this far into the video, I assume you've watched Jurassic Park 1. So we know what they got. The sickle claws things they got going on. An entire page dedicated to Deinonychus. You know it's the top dog. Top dog is... Okay, Deinonychus is one of the best known raptors. It derived in the Middle Cretaceous period, about 115 to 105 million years ago. So this guy was actually before the Velociraptor. Fossils of Deinonychus was mainly from Montana and Wyoming. Yeah, Wyoming's another dinosaur state, by the way. So, guys, in case you guys don't know, dinosaur states, main ones that I know of, very experienced person I am, being one who's learning about this relatively new too. We have Montana, Wyoming, North and South Dakota, and I'm going to go ahead and throw in Utah. You could argue Arizona. Arizona's also pretty cool, but I think those 5 are the main ones. Yeah. So anyways, Deinonychus was about 10 feet long from nose to tail, weighed around 130 to 150 pounds. Yeah, way bigger than the Velociraptor. Velociraptor was only around 75 to like 130, I think they said. So this guy is quite literally like, his minimum is like the Velociraptor's maximum, so we already got a lot of things going on here. About the size of a human adult. Yeah, that makes sense. When remains of Deinonychus were dug up and studied in the 1960s. That makes sense. That's around the time that I think the Jurassic Park book came out. Well, not exactly, but like close. They exploded the myth that dinosaurs were slow, small-brained, and stupid. Insanely cool to think about. Which is weird because actually no, this makes sense. Okay, here's the thing. Deinonychus, yeah, obviously this guy's pretty fast. You can look at his bones. You're like, this guy was not walking slow. Because up at this point, I think all they really had were like maybe like Triceratops. The T-Rex, I think, was already a well-known dinosaur at this point. But the thing about the T-Rex is that it was big. They couldn't imagine it being fast, but it was kind of fast. But they didn't know that. So these Deinonychus, they were powerful. They were speedy. They were agile. They may have hunted in packs, which is even more scary to think about. They're probably like similar to like wolves or lions. And it's nice to think about. It had large hands with powerful fingers, each tipped with a dangerous sharp claw. Then, just in case you guys were having fun, if their claws weren't enough, the feet will get you. They also had massive sickle-like claws, typical of the raptor group. The tail was stiff and could not be swished. Yeah, so they're not like tail smacking you, but, it's also a hard barrier. Deinonychus and other similar dromaeosaurs, such as Velociraptor, were the basis for the cunning and terrific raptors of the Jurassic Park films. Interesting, they covered it. Well, it's 2018, but of course they covered Jurassic Park. But Deinonychus may have attacked prey much larger than itself. Duh. Guys, Dromaeosaurus was like the main thing for the actual movie. Like, Velociraptor pretty much only shares the name. Okay, here we get to some like really niche dinosaurs. We're at 21 minutes. Let's see if we can get this video to 30 minutes again. We're gonna skip this page. I don't really care about the Archaeopteryx. It's a cool name, but okay, you have like 10 seconds to impress me. Okay, earliest known bird. Okay. Which lived during the age of dinosaurs. Okay, is known as the whatever, meaning ancient wing. Okay, lived in Europe during the late Jurassic period. Okay. It's about 2 feet long, and in 1951, a fossilized partial skeleton was identified as a small dinosaur similar to Compsognathus. But in the 70s, it was restudied and named Archaeopteryx, showing how similar the two creatures were. It was covered with feathers and had the same detailed designs in like common birds today. Okay, it's interesting. It really does look. So it's the earliest known bird. Okay, let's see what the details. This guy's actually kind of cool. Long tail with tailbones. Tail backbones. Sure. Flight feathers suited for agile maneuvers in the air. Archaeolatics, whatever you want to call it. Could probably glide, swoop, and turn as it pursued flying prey, such as dragonflies. However, its long, strong legs suggested it was also an able walker and runner, so it may have chased victims such as baby lizards and cockroaches on the ground. It's nice to know. So here's the big thing, the big problem I have with the first known bird. It probably flew, but it's not as fast as like a skillful bird nowadays. It is kind of funny to imagine that birds evolved to get good at flying. So when you see a bird flying, like that took like millions of years to get down. Apparently it took around, 150 million years to get right? So, take that, flying school, I guess. Here, there's something cool about this. It's not alright. Then we're getting to dino birds. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. Dinosaurs and birds. All birds are dinosaurs, technically. Here. Fossils found over the last 20 years show that some dinosaurs may have been covered with feathers. Okay, this is a little not recent. We know now that like a lot of dinosaurs actually had feathers. Not all of them though, but a lot of them. Feathers may have been camouflage, visual display, keep warm, suggesting they were warm-blooded, which makes sense. Well, it doesn't exactly because they're supposedly reptiles, But who said that reptiles had to be cold-blooded? I mean, modern day scientists, sure, but you learn everything's new every day. Okay, shapes around dinosaur. You don't really care. Fossil arm bones have small ridges. This is a very specific dinosaur we're talking about here. I don't care. This is so the modern way of classifying. Oh, here. If this is so, the modern way of classifying or grouping animals called cladistics. Okay, it's a hard word to say. Cladistics means that birds are a subgroup of dinosaurs, not a separate group. They're a subgroup, not a separate group. That would mean that dinosaurs are alive today in the form of birds. Yeah. So this is just not like they would have or if. No, this is just yes. So, well, I'm not an expert, but in my humble opinion, yes. So here's the thing with the big old asteroid coming down to Earth. These birds who can fly, they're not pterosaurs. They're birds. These birds are dinosaurs. And so when the meteor comes down, they're getting all the land animals. They're all cooked. But then you have these birds who can just fly around. They have a better chance. They're also smaller, which means they don't need as much food. So they're not as cooked as these giant dinosaurs. So it makes sense they would live. So yeah, dinosaurs are still alive today, guys. So that pigeon outside, freaking dinosaur, man. I saw a cardinal dinosaur, man. It's springtime. All dinosaurs coming out. And here comes the ostrich dinosaurs. There's so many ostrich-like dinosaurs. I'm not going to even care about these guys. I don't like ostriches that much. Herbivores, I will skip until there's like a cool herbivore. I'll let you guys know. Okay. Prosauropods. Okay. The first big dinosaurs were the prosauropods who lived 230 to 180 million years ago. They were plant eaters. One of the first was a Plateosaurus, which lived in Europe, so I don't really care. They walked in all fours. Sure. Oh, another one's the Rheogasaurus? Or Rheogasaurus. I don't know. It was in Argentina, but not the Argentinosaurus. That came way later. More than 20 fossil skeletons of the Celosaurus, have been found in Europe. Oh my god, Europe. Come on, guys. Plateosaurus, sure. I already talked about you. Well, I already saw you, really. Oh, you're cool, then. Okay. Mastospondylus was a medium-sized plant eater belonging to the group known as the prosauropods, sure. Africa and perhaps North America were home to the Mastophilus from 200 to 185 million years ago. In total, the Mastospondylus, I'm saying the name different every time, was about 16 feet long. It was about half of its length, with being his tail. Yeah, so his tail weight, I'm not really counting that. It had a huge backbone, though. It's nice to know. So about 80 of these guys have been found. Like, I'm assuming in full, like, we know for a fact, like, it's that guy. Had a tiny head compared to his body. Sure, front teeth were large. Nice to know. Cheek, teeth, I don't really care about this. In 1980s, some scientists suggested that the Mastophilus may have been a meat eater, partially due to its ridged front teeth. Interesting. But probably spent most of his time eating. Like, that's actually a really cool, interesting piece. Guys, evolution is not perfect. Some of these animals were legit what we could consider to be, like, not sustainable. Like, these couldn't have lived for too long. Okay, like, looking at this guy, it lived for about 15 million years, which is about the cutoff for, like, an average animal to live. 15 million years is, like, when animals usually go extinct. This guy probably went extinct because all it did was eat. Like, it had, like, a giant body, but, like, a small head. And, like, obviously, it had such a bulky body, but it had, like, such a small head. Like, this thing had so much energy to burn, but it was just not efficient. That's the best way to put it. So it just had to eat a lot. And here we get into some of the cooler dinosaurs. Guys, we're about 30 minutes in. We'll wrap this up. Ankylosaurus was an early sauropod dinosaur, although officially named as a dinosaur in 1912. Ankylosauruses had in fact been discovered almost 100 years earlier. Ankylosaurus was very small, slim compared to other sauropods, with a body about the size of a large dog. Fossils of Ankylosaurus date to early Jurassic period, 200 to 190 million years ago. The remains of Ankylosaurus was found in the Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Southern Africa. Yeah, those guys used to be connected at some point, just so you guys know. With its small, separated teeth Ankylosaurus was probably bit off. Oh, sorry, it probably bit off the soft leaves of like low growing plants. To reach leaves, it would like use its hind legs and like get up there. It had a large curved claw on each thumb. Velociraptor like, but not velociraptors. They had it on their feet. These guys had it on their hands. The thumb claws may have been used to hook or peel branches. Interesting. Some of these dinosaurs, like they seem like complete packages. Like some of them just look like they're good, and some of them just look incomplete. Like the Masia, whatever we were talking about earlier. Like that guy, not good, flawed. This guy, not so bad. Now the biggest dinosaurs, that's being your sauropods. I'm not gonna cover them because we're at 30 minutes now. How you guys' days been? I don't know why I'm uploading this. This could be a double upload today. It might be. It's about sauropods. This book has gotten me a lot of traction. More like a lot of talking room. I don't know what this video is gonna be. It might be a good video. It might be a bad video. Diplodocus. Okay. The Diplodocus is actually a Fortnite meme, but it's based off of Diplodocus. It looks exactly like the dinosaur. I think I'm gonna make today's thumbnail and probably like the picture you played the entire video is gonna be the Diplodocus, because like it looks like the Fortnite thing. It's the guy from Fortnite. Sorry, I had to say it twice. An incredible 90 feet. Like, you guys can read it. It's gonna be on your screen for a while. You guys are gonna have time to read it. Yeah, that's it in the video, guys. Like, subscribe if you really like content about anything I want to do, because dogs, like, I apparently have the time. So, 30 minutes to talk about Diplodocus. Hey, I can manage. This guy looks pretty neat. Anyway, see you guys next one. Brush your teeth. People don't do that sometimes. Floss. I know people don't floss a lot. Buy floss in case you don't have floss. And remember, birds are dinosaurs, but pterosaurs aren't. And also underwater animals. I didn't do more studying because I'm not too well versed on what it means to be an actual dinosaur yet. But pretty sure most of those underwater guys, not dinosaurs. We'll figure that out later though. See you guys next one. I already told you what to do. So see ya.